My next guest was a protege of Martha Graham. He's been called the father figure of contemporary dance in Britain, as important as Dame Ninette de Valois and Marie Rombert. At 90, still firing on all feet, the dance world is about to celebrate Robert Cohan, and here he is. Congratulations for all your achievements so far. The official birthday isn't until later in the month, is it?
That's right. It's the 26th and 27th. I have two birthdays because
right.
I was born late at night on the 26th, and they didn't record it until the 27th. So,
The celebration, I think at least a 3-day celebration. It's the least
Right.
you can expect. I'm very sad there's no silver platform shoes today, Robert. You were known for appearing, I think, on with these on stage.
I still have them at home.
Oh,
I might show up with them. I don't know.
I think you should. It's party time, after all.
Yes, it is.
Well, I mean, there's so much to talk about, and you've written a new work. It's the first new work in, what, 10 years?
Yes, about 10 years, yes. Yes, well, nobody asked me. So it's, I choreograph in my head a lot, and once I see it in my head, it's sort of done. If somebody asks me to put it on the stage, I will. And Yolanda York saw me at a lecture and asked me if I would mentor her for her little company, Yolanda York Dance Project. And I said, yes, it's part of a decision I made a long time ago that I'd say yes to everything. And so I'm still saying yes. And we've been working together for about a year and a half now. And I choreographed again, reworking a little bit, but it's really a new work, to the Bach Chaconne.
Well, we're going to hear some of the Bach Chaconne just in a moment, but it's very interesting. This obviously keeps your mind and your feet engaged. Do you walk the steps with her? Do you still dance them through?
I dance with my body. In other words, I can sit in a chair and I can dance, but mostly it's in my head. The body at 90 and dancing for a long time, it's a little worn out. I trust it still, but I don't put it through the paces anymore.
Well, we cleared a space in the studio just in case.
Right.
You feel moved, but we're going to be talking to Eleanor Alberga in a moment, and she's written, I know, music for the new piece. But as you say, part of it is to the Bach Chaconne from the great partita. Really, I know you love the violin, but the piano does a pretty good job as well.
Yes, but the violin, you really need it live, and we can't always use live music. And there was something when I heard the Busoni piano version, I suddenly realized that would suit the dance better. So and made me move more. Secret to choreography is that the music has to make the choreographer move inside. You have to be responsive, and I found this did it very well.
And I know Eleanor, someone you've worked with on many an occasion. She's already done her warm-up exercises. She was running on the spot earlier. Very impressed, Eleanor. Very, very impressed. She's live at the piano, and she's going to play part of the Chaconne from the great Bach partita. Thank you. Oh, thank you very much indeed. Eleanor Alberga playing part of the chaconne from the great partita BWV 1004 by Bach at Busoni's arrangement, of course, and she will be playing that for Robert Cohan. You said the music has got to make you move inside. I think we were both moving to
Yes, we are. Yes, it pushes you, and the way Eleanor plays it for dance, it has breath and weight, and that's what you need.
Yeah.
You need the air in it, but you need the gravity pull for me. And that's what it makes it grounded and light at the same time.
There's the perfect recipe. Well done, Eleanor.
Thank you.
I'll give you a second to get your breath back. But you've worked for Bob before, haven't you? So you know about this gravitational field as well as the lightness and airiness.
Bob and I have a long history. I worked with London Contemporary Dance, which he co-founded for many years. As pianist, every day I played, I improvised for class. And in fact, if it wasn't for that, I might not have discovered that I was a composer, because that inspired me to start writing music as well.
Yeah, well, you've got terrific plaudits for what you've been writing, and you're writing as part of Bob's new work. It's Bach, but then does the Bach go into you, or are you inspired by the Bach, or how do you work it?
Oh, it was. I gave her a terrific challenge, and I said, I'd like something in front of the Bach. And she said, what? I said, yes, I would like to put the dancers
no pressure
on
there,
stage
then.
before the Bach. And maybe you could improvise something. Oh, really? So Eleanor went away.
Yes, and in the end I decided I chickened out of improvising, because what I loved about improvising for class is that anything can happen. You're free, and therefore sometimes very good things get produced, but sometimes not very good things get produced, and I didn't want to risk it. So I decided it was best to compose, but I thought with a Bach coming afterwards, it had to have some connection.
Yeah. I think that's perfectly realistic. You're allowed off the hook on this one, Eleanor, I think. But there's so much, we would say, Bob, going on. The Bach chaconne and Eleanor's piece is the Baylor Studio at Sadler's Wells, off to Bournemouth, off to Winchester, and then 3 big pieces at the Place as well. Isn't that right?
Yes, the 26th and 27th, my 90th birthday.
Your 90th birthday. I love the idea of a 2-day birthday. I think it should be made should be made into an annual festival. Well, I'm really sad you're not dancing. There's a wonderful reading about your extraordinary life. I mean, dancing for Martha Graham, joining her in 1946, co-director in the 60s, back here as the father of modern dance, and then in between you had 6 months in Cuba, and someone asked you what you were doing, and you said, "I was dancing in a G-string for the mafia."
That's absolutely true. I didn't have anything better to do at the time, I suppose. I'm not sure. But what's strange about it is that I met one of my uncles there as well. And I found out he worked for the mafia.
Well, it's a rich and varied life you've had. When's the book coming?
Well, it was a wonderful experience, because I was used to very serious contemporary dance on the proper stage. But I decided, I loved Jack Cole, and he was a choreographer. I liked his work. And actually, he came from the same school Martha Graham did, from Denishon. And he was choreographing a new work for the opening of the Havana Riviera, a big hotel. And it was really a gambling place run by the mafia. And he asked me to be part of the show, and I said, of course, yes. Of course, I always say yes.
I think this is where the birthday celebration should be next year.
Right.
And nightclub is all opening up again, and the Americans seem to be giving it their blessing. Anyway, listen, thank you very much. 90 years young, you're a terrific advertisement for keeping going, keeping creative. There's no doubt about that. It's wonderful to have you with us, and happy birthday for when it appears next week.
Thank you.
Toasting you on both days.
Thank you very
Definitely.
much.
And Eleanor, you're going to give us an idea of part of the music you've written for Lingua Franca. We haven't actually asked you just how many dancers, Bob, before we...
It's 4 dancers, and it's called Lingua Franca because in the past I've always worked with dancers I trained for years, and these dancers all come from 4 different stylistic backgrounds, different versions of dance, and I think together we make a Lingua Franca.
Lovely. So this is the music, part of the music you've created for it.
Yes, at the beginning, linked to the bark in a very sort of cellular way. So I use the small intervals or bigger intervals and repeat them over and over near the beginning of the piece. And not until close to the end do you hear the resemblance to the harmonies and the chromatic structure of the bark in its chromatic descent.
You'll have to see the whole work for that. Thank you, Eleanor. Thank you for your engagement. Eleanor Alberga going back to the piano to play just part of the piece she's written for Bob Cohan's Lingua Franca. Eleanor, thank you very much indeed. If you want any more, you must go to the performances. Thank you, Eleanor, for playing. And Robert Cohan, lovely to have you with us. Thank you very much indeed. May I just say, keep saying yes.
I am.
I'm glad you said yes to us as well. It was all part of the York Dance Project, Figure Grand 2015, which includes the world premiere of Bob's Lingua Franca. First new work for a decade, Bach and music by Eleanor. Lillian Bailey Studio next Wednesday the 10th, then Bournemouth and Theatre Royal Winchester, and also at the Place the 8th, 22nd and the 26th and 27th, which are Bob's official birthday. So no doubt candles will be lit. You're also doing Private Passions here and on Radio 3. It goes out on the 22nd of March. I look forward to lots more revelations. Thank you very much.
Thank you.